Okay. Sorry for that noise. I just need to make sure it's still... Okay. Okay. Alright, so I have about a ½ inch of oil inside this pan. I have, these are, coffee pot things. You can use regular paper towels, but I like using these because I feel like they soak it up better and it doesn't, like, make the donut mushy. And then this is brown sugar and, sugar and cinnamon mixed together. This is not on yet because, I'm horrible at timing things. So I just start it and then get it to like low or like a low medium. And let it heat up as I'm getting everything ready over on the counter. So these things never open for me. I always have to beat them up. Okay. So you open the donut. Well, these are biscuits, but we'll call them donuts because we're making donuts. Okay. So you open them up. I just divide them so they don't melt together because it gets hot. So if they melt together, they're really hard to separate. So I just separate them as soon as I open them. And then I just pat them down a little bit because some of them are a little uneven from the way they sit in the package. And then you just pick them up. And you take the middle out and make a little donut. And then I stick the middle over on the side because I make an extra donut out of that middle because there's really nothing to do with it and I hate to waste food. So you make a bunch of your little donuts. Okay. And by the time you're done with this process, your oil should be heated. You literally have to put these donuts in for like 2 seconds each. Like, you don't want to overdo it because they burn easy. And you don't want to keep your, like, you don't want to put your heat on high. I have a really old oven, and it's actually an apartment-size oven. I mean, stovetop, so it's really, really small. So if I'm doing something else, I can't cook while I'm doing these because there's just no room between the burners, and it heats up the side of my pan. Oh, it's such a pain in the butt. Okay, and last one. Alright, so, and then I have all this extra dough left over, if you can see this, and I just flatten it out, and remove the middle, and this extra middle piece is actually how I find out if my oil is done, because when I first started doing this, I would drop the donuts in too early, and then they wouldn't cook long enough, so they would, like, get really icky and icky. So, okay, so you have this extra piece. Just roll it up. I really hope you can see this. I can't see the camera, so I think you can. Okay, so this has been heating up since we started our donuts. I have a fork. It's the easiest thing to do it with, in my opinion. So I drop in this little piece of dough, and if it starts sizzling, it's the oil. The oil's done. I don't know if you can see that, but that means that the oil is done if it starts bubbling around it. So just whatever, I leave that piece in there, honestly. Okay, so you take a donut, and I can only do 3 at a time. I don't know if you can multitask better than I can, but if I do more than 3, I tend to burn them. So I just put 3 in there, and I'm letting them brown up a little bit. The oil is not exactly hot, so this first process takes a little bit longer than the other ones, so bear with me. I check them occasionally because, like I said, they do cook very quickly, so it's a little hard to know when they're done. Do you see them plumping up a little bit? I mean, I've gotten so good at this because I do it all the time, really. That they start to brown a little bit on the sides, and that's when I know it's time to flip them. So I won't cook all these donuts. I'll just do 3, or maybe I'll do 6 of them so you can see what it looks like twice, because the oil does get hotter, so you can see what they look like being cooked. So this one's not quite done, but I'm just going to flip it because I get nervous that it's going to burn and then Savannah won't eat them. So just flip them, and they start cooking on the other side. now that I'm showing somebody how to do this, I feel like they're taking a really long time. Okay, they're almost done. I'd like them a little bit browner, but it's new fresh oil, so okay. So, do you see how they're that color now? That's the color you want them. That's the perfect shade of a donut. Okay, so you take them out, put them real quick over on your paper, and last one. Now you don't want them to sit here for too long because then all the oil drains from them, and then it's really hard to get the frosting, I mean the stuff on them. So I just do this and, you know, I do that number. My cat really likes them with a lot of the powder on them, so I tend to go a little overboard sometimes, I have to say. This is the last of my 3. Okay. Now, let's take this little piece out because we know it's done. It's a little burnt. Okay, so I'm going to do 3 more. So 1. See how much quicker they're burning? Or they're cooking? They cook very quickly the second time around, so you really got to watch them. See how it's already turning brown in the center in this one? So this one's ready to flip. And this one as well. You can see the inside and the sides turning brown. So can you see that one right there? It's turning brown. You flip it. So these will be done literally in like 2 seconds because it's so much hotter than the first time. So this one is done. So right with the other donuts, just plop them right on there. Like this. Let them drain a little bit. I find that if you bring it straight to the pan, to your mixture gets really soggy and kind of melts to it. So, and also another hint, I'm going to turn this down a little bit because it's getting too hot. Another hint, don't use the same fork if you're not able to touch your donuts and put them in your frosting or whatever you want on them. Don't use the same fork that you're going to be dipping back into your thing because, ooh, I learned the first time I did that, I actually ended up burning my pan because the sugar from this was burning to the bottom of my pan. So I ended up burning my pan with sugar, believe it or not. I dropped my fork on the floor.
Here.
Oh, thank you, my dear.
You're welcome.
Okay, so like I said, these are cooking really quickly now. So hot, honey, hot. Go in the living room, okay? Go ahead.
Okay.
See, these are almost already done, and I literally just put them in the pan. Savannah, if you want a donut, you can have a donut. Here you go. Okay?
It's hot.
It's not hot, honey. This one's been sitting there for a while. Okay, so right onto the plate they go. This one's a little overdone, actually. It's because I let it get too high. The heat. See how it's really dark on the bottom? It's okay. These are Savannah's snacks. It's really nice out today, so we're gonna go to the park. And because this is my last batch, I am using my fork because it's not going back in my pan. So, yeah, we're gonna go to the park today, and we're gonna have a mother-daughter day, I guess. So, oh, that's time for Savannah to go use the potty. So I need to go. I will call you later and see how they came out.